Part of me was hoping that in the last days of the Donald Trump presidency, he would come out in favor of very tight, aggressive lockdowns all across the board, nationwide lockdowns. And you're saying, Furey, but we thought you were rather critical of some of the more silly restrictions out there. Why are you saying this? Well, because unfortunately, it's clear that there are a lot of people who I think devised their initial opinions on COVID-19, on the pandemic, different restrictions and so forth, by simply knee-jerk doing the opposite of Donald Trump. So I thought, hey, if he comes out and says he loves lockdowns at the end, maybe people would go, oh no, they're terrible, let's not do them anymore. And that would be actually a great gift to help America and North America and the whole world move forward from some of these restrictions that are just not working, and the harms are getting worse by the day. I gotta tell you, my inbox is flooded with experts writing in from different fields who've said their industries are really being hard hit. They've crunched the numbers, they've done the cost-benefit analysis. It just isn't working. What we're doing right now doesn't make sense. Then I'm also getting the emails from people who are really writing in despair about all of the challenges we see. Economic hardships, mental illness, addiction rates, so much is going on right now. There's a lot of suffering that our fellow Canadians, people across North America, around the world, are going through right now. How's Joe Biden going to approach this differently? Well, he's talked about this 100-day national mask mandate and so forth, but he can't even bring it in for the whole country. It's just to federal buildings and so on. So it almost seems initially like he's going to get tougher on it. But I wonder, now that Trump's done and he's gone, is there going to be an opening for people on the left to kind of pivot in how they respond to the pandemic? We've already seen it from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's a Democrat. He said, look, if we don't start opening things soon, there's not going to be anything left to reopen once we actually get to a further reopening, once we get to full vaccination rates and so forth. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, also a Democrat, saying similar things. And I've started hearing from more and more academics who would consider themselves interested in social justice, progressive academics and so forth, who say, well, hold on a second. When I put the lockdowns through a prism of feminism, through a prism of intersectionality, those sorts of things that more left-wing voices are prone to discuss, they say the lockdowns don't make sense through that logic either when we assess it through those different perspectives. So I think we're going to see, for a whole number of reasons, people on the left, progressives, just realizing, oh, hold on a second, this isn't a left-wing, right-wing thing. For whatever reason, conservatives were at first the initial ones to say, I don't know, these lockdowns aren't working. But there's a whole bunch of voices out there across the spectrum who have problems with the way things are going on. And I think we should welcome any voice from any part of the spectrum who comes forward and says, I don't know, I think there's a better way to all of this. Because the question of, should we, to deal with this virus, shut down all of human society and interactions and bring elements of harm and suffering to pretty much all of our fellow man, I don't think that's a left-wing or a right-wing issue or anywhere. It certainly shouldn't be. So if we do see a pivot coming forward, and I do hope and I expect and I predict there'll be some version of it, well, I think we should welcome it from whoever wants to put their voice forward and say, yeah, I have some criticisms with the status quo. I do think there is a better way.